Inspire, motivate, challenge.
Mr. Mayor Uguseba, am I correct?
Good afternoon, sir. It's fantastic.
Yeah, welcome to Healthcare Soldiers YouTube channel.
Yeah.
How are you doing today?
I'm fine.
Fantastic.
Fantastic.
Okay, so for people who regularly watch this channel, they might be surprised to say, especially if they know your work, right?
Yeah.
They might be surprised to say, what is Mayor doing on the Healthcare Soldiers YouTube channel? This is not a channel that interviews healthcare professionals. But then they will be surprised to know that you have a very interesting backstory.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We know that for people who are familiar with your work as Mr. Fantastic, as some will be able to see in the background. Yeah, obviously we will describe. Anyway, let me allow you to introduce yourself. So let's start by you talking about, just talk about yourself, your journey from where you were born, some of the highlights of your career, and then how you ended up where you are today.
Okay, like you said, my name is Mayor Uguseba. I was born here in Lagos.
Okay.
I was born in Lagos. I won't give you my age, so you don't know my age. I was born in Lagos, and I grew up. My father was a military officer. I grew up in Navy Town. I studied electrical engineering, but somehow I ended up in the pharmaceutical field, where I went to GSK, GlaxoSmithKline Pharmaceutical Healthcare, for my IT.
Okay.
So when I ended up in GSK, I did my IT there. After my IT, I came back to GSK. Then I got a job there as an admin executive. Then I worked in the marketing department. Then I was kind of moved around a bit. I worked in vaccines. Then before I now became an admin executive for marketing department, where I worked directly with the marketing director. So yeah, that's my brief journey.
Okay,
yeah.
cool. But when did you leave GSK?
So I think I left GSK in 2016. Yeah.
Okay. So how many years did you work?
I think about 10 years.
10 years?
Yes.
Yeah, a new healthcare professional. Okay, so, but I mean, this journey of, this comedy journey did not just start like post GSK.
Yeah.
So can you talk us into how that started and like when it started and how it started and just give us some insights into that journey as well.
Okay, so my comedy journey started up, I think, it was when I was in GSK. Okay. Shortly after my IT, when I came back, I dabbled into stand-up comedy. Then I used to anchor like GSK events. Okay. So yeah, birthdays, like normal events where I would use
like
MC, use jokes, things that happen in the company to just crack jokes. So I thought of, okay, I saw, I met a guy called Larry. Then YouTube was just starting up in Nigeria, YouTube. So he advised me to start doing something on YouTube, which I started with a channel called Nigeria's Craziest. So from then on, still stuck to my stand-up, but I saw the future of content creation. I saw the future that stand-up comedy might actually die down as time went on. So I kind of reduced doing stand-up and focused on content creation. So Nigeria's Craziest, I grew to about 246,000 subscribers. Then it was a lot of controversy. So due to some certain issues that I won't be able to go into, I had to leave that and start up my own personal brand. Because I was working with like 5 guys on Nigeria's Craziest, so we had like 5 comedians that were doing it together. But I decided to go solo. Yeah, so.
Okay, so when did you start, when exactly did you start your personal channel?
That was in 2023, last year. That's when I started the channel. You can.
Oh, just last year. And how many subscribers do you have now?
Currently 60,000 subscribers.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
okay.
but I started going viral on TikTok before I decided to switch to YouTube. So I think I have almost 800,000 followers on TikTok.
So you have 800,000 followers on TikTok.
Yes.
And you have 60,000
subscribers on YouTube.
On a YouTube channel that is barely 2 years old.
Yeah, barely 2 years. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So I know this is a healthcare focused channel.
Yeah.
And a career focused channel as well.
Yeah.
But I would just like you to talk about, advice for people who are doing YouTube or content creation. So what's the success factor? Like with Nigeria's craziest, you got over 200,000 subscribers, which I believe probably took longer than now.
Yeah.
Than it took to get 60,000.
Yes.
In your individual channel.
Yeah.
So obviously you'd have learned a lot. So can you give us some tips for small YouTubers like us? What are some of the tips? Like how are you able to grow so fast?
Okay, the tip is if you find a good content, is consistency. Because people consume content like sometimes people want to wake up, they might watch 10 to 20 videos on your channel at once, just being bored. So you always want to, it's not enough to get people to subscribe. It's harder to keep people coming back. There are some people that didn't subscribe to your channel, but they have it's something called cachet. If they've watched your video before, the algorithm will keep suggesting your videos to them. Yeah. So they'll keep watching. But if you don't post, there will be nothing for the algorithm to suggest. And you want to key into waves. There's something called waves. So sometimes some things will trend. And you want to key into that trend so that the SEO can pick up your videos and suggest it more. But I think the main thing is consistency. Because if you are not consistent, even if I've seen people doing contents that are not so good, but the fact that they are consistent, people, even if people don't like you at first, if you continue being in their faces, they are forced to like you. So for me, the key is consistent, and to be consistent, you have to find a channel, a content that is sustainable.
Yeah. So when you say consistency, how often do you post?
For Nigeria's craziest, then it started with once a week.
Okay.
Because I was working and I couldn't obviously post that. Then it increased to like 2 to 3 times a week.
Okay.
But basically it was once a week. But with Mr. Fantastic, it's every day.
Okay, you do it every day.
Like I post every day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, because that's what you do.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Maybe
Enough, like, yeah, but I can dedicate a lot of time to it because right now I'm doing I have my own production company. So yeah, so when you're not always on set all the time. You're not always editing for other people all the time. Yeah, because I work with some multinationals. I work with AstraZeneca. I work with some multinational. So when it comes to adapting videos for Africa, like you know that there are some videos that are white. Let me not use white. That's some there are some videos that are made for like the European market. Then I have to localize those videos. So exactly. So sometimes I'm not always. It's not always. Yeah, you're not always working on that, so you have time to do other things. Okay,
so that's interesting. Even though you no longer work for a pharmaceutical company,
yes,
it seems like your production company is geared towards providing services
for pharmaceutical. Yeah, exactly.
But do you work outside of the industry as well, or is most of your work?
No, I do work outside the industry.
Okay, but you've kept that connection.
Yeah, the connection. Yeah.
In terms of consistency, is it important? Will you grow faster if you post one every day versus once a week, or is it the same level of growth as long as you are consistent? What are your thoughts?
It depends, because YouTube have like they have different things that can make you grow. So you have the YouTube Shorts.
Okay.
You have the normal videos. You have polls. You have different things that you can help you grow. The YouTube Shorts can help you grow faster. So let's say you have a long video. If you post one video a week that is maybe 10 minutes, you can just do like the interesting bits, clip the interesting bits and post it on your YouTube Shorts. So on the days where you don't post, you can clip the interesting bits of those videos and post on your YouTube Shorts. And because YouTube Shorts is suggested more to a wider range of audiences, it gets to be suggested and you grow. So it wasn't like those days where there was no YouTube Shorts, where we only relied on the traditional content we posted. Now it's easier because you can just, YouTube Shorts helps you grow faster, because you can, even when your channel is not up to 1,000 subs, you can post a short and get up to 10 million views, and that 10 million views is easy for people to just see your channel at the bottom and click subscribe. So if you're not able to post every day, you can post once a week, and within the week clip bits and pieces and post on your YouTube Shorts. So that's a trick.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah.
So maybe I also want to talk about the trend, the riding on trend. So can you give us a specific example of a trend that you got and you rode on it and helped to?
Okay, there's one that just passed, the Bobrisky going to prison trend.
Okay.
Yeah, Bobrisky, that was a trend that you can ride on. The Kendrick Lamar beef, that's a trend.
Okay.
So things like that people want to search. Sometimes if you go to your YouTube channel, if you go to your analytics, then you go to research. Yeah. You will see what people are searching for. So you want to key into what people are searching for and do something around that. So that will help your channel get suggested. Yeah.
Okay, cool. And that's it. We continue to learn. Yeah. Okay, so now I want to get into the healthcare part of the conversation now. Yeah. So working 10 years in a pharmaceutical company, that's no joke. We put in the work. You put in the work. Yeah. So can you just share what was your general experience, considering that you are somebody who is obviously a creative. Yeah. And somebody basically, you are a creative, you don't stand up comedy, content creator, all that stuff. But yet you worked in what I would call maybe a very different kind of industry. So you worked there for 10 years. What was your general experience? What impact did they have on you?
Yeah, okay. So the type of comedy I do, I talk to a lot of professionals. A lot of professionals watch my content. So sometimes you don't want to you want to know what you're talking about. It's comedy, but people pick the little things. So let's say we're talking about, there's a video I did recently of women's menstrual cycle. A pastor was saying that women just act that way. It's not that. So I was trying to let him know about estrogen and the hormones that make women act that way. It was comedy, but it was still some sort of education. So at GSK, I did a lot of research. So for the APIs, the leaflets you give out, those little references, you have to go and search the reference and highlight. So you tend to do a lot of reading. And I remember I used to work on training materials too for the new medical reps.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was in charge of that. Printing, preparing, binding. So working in that field really helped me grow as a person. I got to meet a lot of people, a lot of intelligent, smart people. In fact, my guy that is interviewing me now, he was one of them. So working there was an eye opener. It really, sometimes when I talk, people don't think I'm a comedian. They say you're too smart to be a comedian. So it was all those experiences that kind of shaped me into Mr. Fantastic.
Is it safe to say that if you don't work in the industry, there are certain maybe attitudes or biases that you may have?
Yeah.
Do you think that if you didn't work in the industry, you probably would have those similar kind of bias that the regular person would?
Yes, I do. There are sometimes when people say some things, I'll be like, no, that's not true. I've been in the industry. I know what applies. I've been here. So as a creative in the industry, I really try to use my creative side to make, when I joined GSK, there were some things that were not done. When we were going for conferences, there was no interesting things though. Yeah, it's just straight. But I introduced like montages for different things. Like it was made the conferences more fun. Yeah, so.
If you go to a pharmacy today,
that's
if you go to a pharmacy today and you want to buy a drug, like how does your working in the industry for 10 years, how does it impact that?
So I walk into a pharmacy. it's a whole lot of arguments. So I say, give me, I say, give me a generic version of Augmentin, and they'll be like, Oga, this one. I'll be like, how much is this? She'll be like, how much is this? What company is this from? No, I don't trust this. Take this back. I don't trust this. Take this back. Okay, give me. So it's the pharmacists will be looking at. Are you a pharmacist? So like, okay. I said, do you have any medication for headache or any medication for malaria? And they will bring one composition. I'll be like, no, I don't want this composition. Give me artemether lumefantrine, or give me this combination. And they will looking at me like, you're not a pharmacist. Why are you trying to teach me my job? I'm like, yeah. In fact, I have like MDEX.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I still read MDEX. I still read about medications. I still have a book where like it's prescribed drugs for certain ailments. I read all those things. So most of the time when I go to a pharmacy, when I talk, they look at me like, are you a doctor or a pharmacist?
Alright, that's interesting. So another angle I would say is like, would you say you're more, because you work for a multinational company? Yeah. So would you say you're more partial towards like branded pharmaceutical products, or that one? I was. I'm partial towards branded pharmaceutical products because I know most of our brothers just go to China and they bring different things, and and I try to look out for the genuine sticker mark where you scratch. MAS stickers where you scratch and send a text. I try to look out for that too. And I try to look at the name of the drug. I tend to go for specific company brands. I don't. So if it's not GSK, Roche, like companies I know, I don't really go for Emzo, Green Life, those specific brands. I don't go for Chukwemeka and Sons, malaria medicine. Once you work in the pharmaceutical industry, like a de facto or pharmacy or pharmacist. What I'm saying is that, are you inclined to recommend people to go to the doctor? Or you know how most of us just go to the pharmacy to self-medicate? Like how has that also impacted your view in terms of health or treatment-seeking behavior? Okay, so for people, I'll say go to the doctor. For me, for me, if I'm feeling this way, I know the drug to go to the pharmacy to buy. Because most of the time I've gone to the hospital. I go to the hospital and the doctor is writing. And he's writing a medication that I won't even buy. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm telling him, this is not what I want. This is not. You've done the test. You told me it's malaria. I've taken this drug before, and I relapsed after 2 weeks. Why are you recommending this to me again? Exactly. So most of the time, I find out I get into an argument with the doctors. After a test, I know the medication to take, but you're giving me a medication that I've already taken and doesn't work for me. Like one, I went there and he prescribed, there's this injection that makes my body itch. Chloroquine. And I'm telling him, I can't take this. I can't take anything like this. And he was like, who is the doctor here? This is the doctor here. He gave me the medication. He gave me the injection, and I started itching. Then I remember, see what I told you. I told you I know these things. I cannot take this medication. But also for people, I advise them to go to the doctor. But when they go to the doctor, they find out that it's still what I told them to go and buy, that the doctor will still. Yeah, so the most important thing I tell them, go and do a test first before you self-medicate, if you will self-medicate. But self-medication is bad.
Alright, so you also worked in the vaccines department, right?
Yes.
Immunization, all that stuff. Yeah. So I would also like to know how working in the industry has impacted your view of vaccines. You know, considering all the control. There's a lot of controversy surrounding vaccines, especially during COVID.
Yeah.
When COVID happened. So, what's your thought about vaccines in general? And also about COVID?
For me, I think vaccines have saved a lot of lives. Vaccines have, like, if you think about some diseases that we had growing up, and we got vaccinated for them, they've disappeared. They no longer exist. But my problem with vaccines is it can't be rushed. There needs to be a lot of R&D that goes into it, a lot of years, perfection, and a lot of clinical research, a lot of testing before it can be put out. That was my problem with the COVID vaccine. It felt like it was just rushed. Because if you say you wanted to bring a vaccine for COVID, where is the vaccine for influenza? Because you should have thought about the vaccine for the common cold a long time, because COVID is like around that, so it's still the same thing. So I felt I wouldn't take the COVID vaccine. I won't lie.
I would say you didn't take it.
I won't take
it. I think there is a vaccine for flu now. There's a flu vaccine.
There is?
Yeah, there is.
Does it work?
It does, but it's not long term.
It's like the vaccine for malaria.
Exactly. Where
you have to keep.
Maybe every 2 years.
You have to keep taking. It's not even up to 2 years. Yeah, you have to take it like constantly. So it's not. So what's the point?
It will help you in the short term.
That's it. Okay, so I won't take the COVID vaccine. I won't take it because I feel it wasn't perfected. It was rushed. It was rushed to make money. It was
so despite all the years that you worked in the pharma industry, they were able to convince you
to take the COVID vaccine.
Yeah.
No, I won't. I won't, because I have my valid reasons. If they had put in like 3-4 years into developing the vaccines and done a lot of clinical trials and gotten a lot of data, I would take it. I live my life on facts, not emotions.
Okay, so I guess there's an influence, and then there's a. I mean, I'm saying the pharmaceutical industry has impacted you.
If I didn't work in the pharmaceutical company, I probably would have taken the vaccine.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. Okay. If I didn't work in GSK and about clinical trials, R&D and all that stuff, I would have taken the vaccine, because I'd be like, they brought me a vaccine for COVID. I'll go and take it. Yeah.
That's interesting. Like that's a very interesting point of view, because you. I mean, there's definitely a lot of people who they have not worked in the pharmaceutical industry, but based on the information that they see online from people, then it's influenced them to take whatever decision they will take it, whether they will take it or not. So that's interesting. So, what are your thoughts about the healthcare industry so far, like in Nigeria? Like when people get sick and how they get health access to healthcare in general. What are your thoughts?
Nigeria, we have a long way to go. Access to good healthcare. You just need to step into a hospital and it's shambles. First off, our healthcare professionals, they are not professional.
Well, you worked with a lot of them.
I worked with a lot of them.
On one side.
Yeah. They don't. Like, for Christ's sake, I saw a video of a woman in pains giving birth, and a nurse was recording video and doing for TikTok. You can't try that in the UK. You lose your license. You go to a hospital, somebody will keep you because you have not paid money. What happened to the hypocritical oath? Save the person's life first. Before busy hypocritical, I've been like hypocritical.
And it's like hypocrisy.
Still the same. So our healthcare system it has a long way to go. First off, testing. It's just individuals that are trying their best to, just like everything in Nigeria, it's just individuals that set up labs and try their best to I think it's more money driven than anything else. The healthcare system in Nigeria, it's not about saving the lives first. It's about how much. Like Solomon Dalong was just complaining, the former Minister of Health, he's just complaining that I think he got into an accident, then he was in sorry, the former minister Solomon Dalong was just complaining, the former Minister of Sports. He got into an accident. Then they took him to the hospital. Then he was unconscious. Because he was unconscious, they said nobody to pay the money. They left him there for 4 hours. until he was able to gain partial consciousness to pay the hospital bill before they treated him. And that is how many Nigerians die. Now, because he's no longer in office, when he was in office, they will say, minister, they will treat him. But now he's no longer in office. He's not like the common man. He's now experiencing what the common man experienced. So, for me, the healthcare system, I think it boils down to the way we treat each other. And we really don't treat each other well. We really don't. Because I don't see the reason why somebody is shot and brought to your hospital, you keep the person there. When the police have said, treat first, then call the police. But you'd leave the person there to die. So I don't think there is a healthcare system in Nigeria. We're just trying, but there's no healthcare system in Nigeria.
Okay, but when you were working in GSK, did you have the privilege of health insurance?
Yes, I did, and there was a lot of stuff struck out. So you go to the hospital, they don't even run tests for you. They tell you have malaria and typhoid. They can come on, do a test, find out what is wrong with me. They just write malaria medicine and give you and say go. So yeah, exactly, malaria and typhoid. I give you one generic amoxicillin. And I could be buying GSK's brand of amoxicillin. Why are you giving me this crap? So that's it.
So I want to really delve into health insurance a little bit and get your thoughts. So the thing about a lot of the foreign countries where their healthcare system will say is a little bit better than ours.
Yeah.
Or a lot better.
A lot better.
Like a lot of them is driven by the fact that people have health
insurance. Yeah, health coverage.
So what are your thoughts? You know, the former president actually signed a bill that made health insurance mandatory, even though that's not been executed fully. But what are your thoughts on making health insurance mandatory?
I think it should. I think it should be made mandatory. Everybody should have one sort of health insurance coverage or the other. Because you cannot live your life and just leave it to chance. Because when you fall sick, you can't wait to fall sick and have, let's say, kidney failure or one serious illness, and then they give you the bill, then you start running around to say, come and donate for me, or my brother, my sister, no hair. So if you are paying your premiums every month and you know your coverage, let's say you're covered for dental, you have this, you have this, you have this, you know your coverage, and usually those insurance, they have like an amount they give you for more serious illnesses. It helps you to have rest of mind. You know when you fall sick, you know your hospital to call, you know your HMO, you call them, they come. Some of them even have ambulance services that can come and pick you up. As for how Nigerians will take it, they will fight it, obviously. They will fight it because Nigerians are still very traditional. Somebody will tell you, I'm sick. Go down, mama, Agbo joints, go buy Agbo drink. Hello, Agbo. All right. But the thing is, education is key.
Yeah.
Education is key. We need to constantly be educating people. And if us to my Oga's YouTube channel, they are the healthcare people, they need to constantly be educated. It doesn't have to be on YouTube because people watch a lot of TikTok.
Yeah.
So you can create content on TikTok to educate people on the importance of vaccines, the importance of healthcare. I mean, we have some doctors that do it, Aproko doctor, different doctors do exactly. So it's something that is worth looking into. You can do it in a funny way where people laugh and take the message. Because if it's too serious, people will be like, this guy person don't care. But if it's in a comic funny way, people would laugh and take the message. But we do need healthcare insurance. I'm telling you now. Sometimes it's just 5,000 a month. It's not really big. Sometimes it's 10,000.
Well, I think Lagos State's insurance is like 10,000 a year.
The 5,000 a month will cover you for many things. So a lot of things, dental, like a lot. If you see itself, you would. So you can even get one for like 10,000 a year, some 15,000 a year. It's just shaking money that gives you rest of mind. But I think the insurance companies need to do more. I feel like they are not pushing. They're
Yeah,
not.
but I think it also maybe there's also a lot of responsibility on the National Health Insurance Authority since they signed a bill that made it mandatory.
Yeah.
But I think they are working on how to execute it. It's taking some time, but what do you think about introducing it now?
I think they need to introduce. They need to introduce it now. Something
Now,
like
everything
NI.
that is happening now.
Yeah, if you don't,
No, but you know people have to pay.
Yes, now they need to implement instead of implementing the nonsense 0.5 tax. What does that? That is not helpful to the common Nigerian.
Yeah, you're talking about the cyber.
Yeah, the cyber security tax. But if they implement the healthcare, that's your health. If you die now, you don't die. There's no. there's no two ways about it. If you are dead, you are dead. So the government can do that and maybe subsidize. Because I don't see what the Nigerians are getting from the government anyway. They've taken away the electricity subsidy, they've taken away the fuel subsidy. So they can tell people, okay, we are giving you a health insurance of 20,000 naira, but we will subsidize it. You pay only 5,000 a year.
It's funny enough, in that bill that Buhari signed, there's actually a segment there that talks about something called vulnerable group fund.
Yeah.
Which is where the very poor people will not even have to pay.
Pay, exactly.
But they will still give them health insurance. Right?
Yeah. But I don't trust anything that you don't pay for.
That's another point.
Yeah, anything you don't pay for, I don't trust it. So it's best they make them pay some sort of maybe something. Even if it's 3,000, 4,000 a year. But Nigerians will still complain, but it's their health. There's nothing they can do. If death is inevitable, but at least we have to prolong it more.
Okay, so I mean, apart from the approach of health insurance, have you, based on your years of working in the industry, have you thought about anything else that you think you can do to improve access to healthcare in Nigeria?
I think, I won't lie, the fact that you can walk into a pharmacy and buy medication helps. Because if, like in the UK, the NHS system, the doctors have all the power. And you don't want to give people power, they tend to abuse it. Sometimes people go for medication and the doctor is telling them you have this. Like I have a friend that got infection. She had like a serious infection and the doctor was giving her paracetamol. That girl almost died. She's in the UK. She almost died. She had to travel to Portugal to go treat herself. And now you find that people come. Do you know that people travel from America, US down to Nigeria?
Yeah.
So,
That's something that started. That's something that started. What's it called? Emerging.
Yeah.
So to speak.
Because the doctors have all the power, and the doctors can just. But here, if you have sickness, maybe you go and eat something and you catch a throat infection, you can just walk into a pharmacy and buy Augmentin and swallow, and
Yeah, I think I agree with you as well. I think it's something they should just standardize.
Yeah, they should standardize. Exactly, free, yeah.
So just let pharmacists know that they are primary healthcare providers.
Yeah, not...
And let them understand where their
limit is. Not somebody who walk into a pharmacy to go and be pharmacy, go they take injection. No. Or a nurse will say, go and call this nurse, come my house, come, they put drip, they give me injection. No. You have to go to a hospital and see a doctor. But this should be standardized. But the healthcare system in Nigeria is interesting. Let's hope it gets better.
Okay, I want to ask one slightly controversial question now.
Yeah.
So, considering that you worked in the pharma industry, what would you say? I mean, you've already kind of hinted, give your thoughts on the COVID vaccine, but do you have any criticism of the pharmaceutical industry now? I'm not talking about healthcare now, I'm talking about pharmaceutical industry and the way things work. Do you have any criticism that being an insider yourself that you that you want to point out?
The truth is that a lot of the problems were created by the pharma industry. So they create the problem and they bring the solution to the problem.
What you say?
Yes, now let's look at the Ebola, for instance. Ebola never knew how to infect the human cells. The Ebola was taught how to infect the human cells. So for those conspiracy theories, I'm not saying. But Ebola has been in Africa for a long time and it never infected humans. People were eating monkeys. But there is a theory that there's a research that went on that taught the Ebola how to infiltrate the human cell. So you find out that some of these, like cancer, why is there no R&D into curative than management? Because people make more money off managing cancer and take this drug, rather than finding a cure for it. If you go in the US now, a lot of people have turned to drugs. They've turned to drug addicts, and you'll be surprised it's not cocaine. Opioid painkillers.
Yeah.
So the doctors have turned to dealers. So the pharmaceutical industry, they know that their painkillers are killing people. I'll not mention any. They know it's a serious problem in America.
Yeah, the opioid crisis.
Yeah, it's a serious problem. So what are they doing about it? They won't do anything about it because they know they are making a lot of money from selling their painkillers. They might how do they call it again? Incentivize the doctor self to say prescribe this.
Yeah.
Load them with painkillers. They become addicts. So the pharma industry is creating the problem and at the same time bringing solution to the problem. You cannot be.
You were part of them for 10 years.
I was a worker. Oh God!
No, but I think you're right. But I guess you're talking more from a global perspective.
Yeah, from a global perspective.
From a local perspective, I don't think.
No, from a local perspective, we don't have that level. We are followers. We are followers. Like we would rather spend time in church praying for somebody that has schizophrenia than actually doing something. Like I adapted a video for one. I don't want to do advert for them on your channel. For one company, and it's like drugs for schizophrenia. Okay. But before, we didn't know it was a sickness. In Nigeria, we would think, oh, this one, Papa, in village people, now send arrow. Yeah. Then they say, go for deliverance. They will put you in church, flog you away. Say, fire, die, you, die. So now we know. But I think in Africa, we need to do better. We need to do better. Like, we have things, we have plants, we have the resources to do a lot of R&D and develop our own medication. Look, like malaria is now becoming resistant to current treatments we have. You take a malaria drug and within 2 weeks you have relapsed. What are we doing to help ourselves? Oyibo, malaria no be their problem. It's not endemic there. Here it is. It's our problem. Why are we not looking for new molecules to solve?
There's a vaccine now.
That vaccine is not a vaccine. That thing is not a vaccine. You know malaria is not like a virus or bacteria. The plasmodium is a living organism now. So it's hard to create a vaccine that will protect you for long. Why am I going to inject myself and I would relapse after? I'll be going back for booster shots every time. Most of us don't even like needles. So we need to, like for the malaria, the problem is it's the current regimen clears it from the blood. Then you still have the liver stage. It's still there, dormant. After 2 weeks, it flares up again. So where are the drugs to clear it from your liver? So we're still
because doctor. I'm sure a lot of your fans will be surprised.
No, they're not surprised. I say a lot of things like this on my videos. Okay, that's why many healthcare professionals they write me and say, "You're so informed. I so love you. You're so informed."
That's cool. You worked in, as you said repeatedly, worked in GSK specifically for 10 years. And I'm sure you heard of the news recently that, as a company, even though I think they've adopted a distributor model whereby somebody will be distributing their product, but as a company itself, they left Nigeria. The country, they left Nigeria. which led to impacted a lot of people.
The prices, yeah.
And also the prices of
drug, yeah.
So what are your thoughts on that generally? How did that make you feel, first of all, when you heard the news?
I felt bad because I still had a lot of friends that worked there.
Yeah.
I felt bad. Yeah, like a lot of people will lose their livelihood and lose their jobs, and it's not only GSK that is leaving.
Yeah.
A lot of pharmaceutical companies have multinational, even P&G, different companies have left. I have a friend that worked in P&G and he's lost his job. He can't get a job now. So I felt really bad, and I don't know what the government is doing to mitigate or to help these companies, because their running costs in Nigeria is ridiculous, and it has to do with power majorly, and the fact that because GSK is a very ethical company. I always say to succeed in Nigeria you have to be a Chinese man. I don't know if that's racist too. Okay, to succeed in Nigeria you can't be fully ethical, because there are some people that will frustrate you. I remember when I was in vaccines then, most of our vaccines will be held in the ports because somebody wants underhand bribe and this and like that, so they will keep it. And you know, temperature excursion, you can't keep things like that, it will spoil.
Yeah.
And they will have to write off a lot of vaccines like that when the temperature go. And GSK, you know, GSK standards. So when you keep losing money like that because of one civil servant wants. But if it's a company that is not ethical, they will gladly pay the underhand thing and remove their goods from the ports. Listen, and that's why a certain distribution company is is taking over, because they know the tips and tricks to use for Nigeria. Nigeria is a difficult place to do business, so I will not lie to you.
I mean, but to be fair, I mean, the GSK was there for a very long time, despite, you know, the way they run. So,
yeah.
But you think things came to a head, basically, is what you're saying?
Yeah, I think it got to a point where, you know, you were an insider, you know the story. We don't need to bring it here. We don't need to wash our dirty linens outside. You know the story of what went on, and when the people abroad saw what was going on, they decided to say, these people, they want to run us streets. So let's not wash our dirty linens outside. So yeah.
But the subsequent impact, like the prices of drugs and whatever, how did you see all that situation?
GSK drug is unattainable. It's not something Nigerians can afford right now. Because if you're asthmatic, Seretide, you can't buy Seretide. Is this somebody that is earning the minimum? I think the average wage for a Nigerian is like 200,000. And you're asking somebody to buy Seretide to manage asthma for 50,000.
I think they even go higher
at some point. So how can somebody buy one discourse for 50,000 on a 200,000 salary? Transportation and this in alone has taken over like maybe 100,000 from your salary. You have 100,000. You have 50,000. Then you have 50,000 to now. So it's not attainable. The government needs to do something. I don't know if it's to bring in more pharmaceutical companies. I don't know what we will do, but at this point we are at a crossroads.
Yeah, but I think what's happening is that other companies are taking
advantage.
Are plugging
the gap. If you go to the market now, before it was the main augmenting clavulanet was augmenting, and amoxicillin clavulanet was augmenting and Fleming. Now you have a lot. You have like many brands, like some go as low as 2,000 naira. Yeah, so I think the generic market is booming, but they still need to regulate that market, because I don't know. I don't trust NAFDAC. I mean, I don't trust them.
Okay. All right, thanks. Yeah. So I want to just maybe a few more questions around Mr. Fantastic. So, like we said, you said 800,000.
Yeah, almost 600,000 followers on TikTok.
Followers on TikTok.
Yeah.
But you want to even educate us a bit on TikTok and social media? I like with YouTube. I think the monetization, what's it called? The monetization framework is a bit more familiar. To me. You need to get number of views, number of subscribers. But is there something similar like that with TikTok?
Yeah, every platform has their threshold that you have to meet to. But there is no monetization for TikTok in Africa. The TikTok Creator Fund is only available. It's not even in Canada. It's in really? UK, US, France, and some parts of Europe and China. Yeah. So it's limited. So if you want to start TikTok, I advise get somebody in those countries to open an account for you. That was a mistake I made. Yeah. So before it comes down to Africa, I didn't know when it will come down. So, but you can still make money from live streams.
Okay, so how do you make money from?
So if you go live, people can be gifting you.
Okay.
People can be sending you roses, sending you. That's why I see some people shouting, follow.
You know, I've seen those things before. I'm like,
thank you for the roses. Thank you for the roses. Follow. I don't have power for that.
No, but what the roses? I don't understand. What are they? Is it costing the person giving you money?
Yeah. So the person buys
the rose.
Gives it to you. So they can put their card and buy roses and buy. They can just put maybe like $100 there so that they can be using to gift people.
Okay, so it costs money to actually give the rose. Just like people.
Exactly. Exactly. Super chat and stuff like. So on Facebook monetization is coming to Nigeria in June.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't available in Nigeria, but in June, Meta has one of their representatives called me that they are bringing it in June. So Instagram, Facebook, June.
So, quick segue. I have this impression that TikTok is the easiest platform.
It is.
To gain impressions.
It is.
Or maybe Twitter.
No, TikTok.
I think TikTok, but at least for video form.
Video form, yeah.
TikTok is like the easiest.
There are a lot of haters on Twitter. Twitter is
okay, let's even focus on video form, social media. Yeah. Although Twitter is trying to be that, but I think they are still in the early stages.
Yeah.
So why is TikTok so? Why is it so? I mean, not like it's easy, but why is it fairly easier?
Because the algorithm is fair. You don't need. The algorithm picks up your videos once you post it and starts suggesting it. So if your video is interesting, people start sharing, and from there you get follows. But on YouTube, on Instagram, if you don't have followers, you have to tell people, say, go and follow and subscribe. So it's just people that follow and subscribe that will watch your content, then share. That's how you start building. But if you are lucky, the algorithm picks up your thing and suggests it in the home page. And once it suggests it, in the first 1 minute, people are clicking it. The algorithm will register that this is a good video that is interesting. That's why thumbnailing is very important. Thumbnailing and titling.
Yeah.
Because once they suggest your video and nobody clicks it, they will remove it.
Yeah. So I want to confess something about myself.
Yeah.
I don't know what to compel me to give somebody money on social media. But I know that it happens a lot.
Yeah.
Like, do you understand the psychology of how people are compelled to actually give somebody money? Like, you know, if you're watching like some YouTube channels and you see them doing the live chat,
they always gift. People will be giving
money because they are probably moved by the content or they are enjoying the content. But I don't know. I feel like
it's because it's because you're in Africa.
Because I'm African.
You're in Nigeria.
Like, what is the psychology that is compelling people to actually give money?
Yeah, it's because you're in Nigerian. A lot of people probably have the same mentality.
The mentality.
Yeah, but once you go abroad, when you are able to pay, because most people abroad even pay for premium YouTube. They don't like the ads.
The ads, yeah.
But here in Africa, most of us use the free version. Like when interacting with people, like they like to pay for premium things. They don't like the free ad. They don't like to see ads.
No, I don't get that. I know. I mean, even me, I think I've done premium before.
Yeah, so
when it was just like 1K or something. Like,
so putting their card, they already have the information there. So it's not a big deal for them. So take $20, take $50, take this star, take that star, take this star. It's not a big deal for them. But for here, you can't even put your card on. Try putting your MasterCard on.
Oh, okay, because unless it's
A foreign card. So it's a lot difficult for us here. Things are a lot. That's why if everything was like smooth like them, you probably
be more. But I mean, I'm still like, it's still amazing me. I should just do it one day and see what to make me feel
like.
But I still feel there's a psychology there, because we, just like you said, a lot of us have the free YouTube. A lot of us have. Yeah, somebody had seen that. Is it a boyfriend? Anyway, so this is what I'm just saying. I still feel like I want to really understand. Like, I guess maybe it's a mentality
for
us.
Yeah.
Maybe it's for us, Gerald. It's mentality of scarcity. The fact that we're enjoying free content. Like, why would I now pay somebody?
Exactly.
Especially when. So another factor is, especially when I see somebody that is successful. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if I see Mr. Fantastic now.
You know, the thing with white people, they value
making back.
They value.
I have to still be compelled to give him.
Because they value your time. They value the effort you put in. It doesn't matter to them. They just want to appreciate you. And that's why a cleaner abroad still gets dignity than here, where somebody will say, "Now you're not the ordinary cleaner you be." Yeah, anything you do, people give you your respect, and they tend to want to compensate you for what you've done. Like there, tipping is but here, if you tell people tip, they will say, "Why they beg me? I will report it to your order." You are a beggar.
Yeah, that's another interesting point to me. Like I always suggest that thing as well. Like it's like, you know, like when people come to Nigeria, they say, "Why are people asking for bribe or whatever?" Like they should just like make it official.
Yeah.
Just make it a tip thing.
Yeah, tip.
You know, just maybe put a tip jar.
Yeah, tip jar. Yeah.
I say, oh, tip the officer.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Just make it
official. Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah.
Rather than it making it look like they are
bragging. Yeah.
Because at the same time, beg na beg.
Exactly. Everything na beg. Whether you say tip me, that tip, I still the same. Anything for the boys.
Just like bribe.
Everything is exactly.
So
you will find their way to use grammar.
Bribery and lobby.
They will use grammar to package their own. Why they will call us another thing? So if somebody asks me for money after I don't pay you, you say you call it tip. Then you come to my country, somebody asks you, say find me something for the boys, you say na bribery. But the difference is that they will still offer the services. Without but here, if you don't give them the bribe, they start acting as if you owe them.
Sometimes it's after they would have given the service. Anything for me.
Anything.
But I get your point. You're totally right. So, Mr. Fantastic, what's in it? Like, what's the goal? Obviously, I'm guessing you have to cross that 1 million mark this year, I guess. What are the other goals for you from TikTok and social media in general?
My goal on TikTok is like 1 million subscribers.
Yeah.
But I just don't want to build subscribers. I want to build loyal subscribers.
Okay, what does that mean?
So if you go to some channels, when you see them, they have like 1 million subscribers. But when you look at their videos, their views are not really. That's because they didn't build a community. They just build people that subscribe. But if you look at my channel, I have just 60,000 subscribers, but I average a views of 15,000 per video. That's like how many percent of my subscribers are loyal?
That's like 25%.
Yeah. They are loyal. Like every time I post, they want to watch. So imagine if I have 1 million and 25% of 1 million are loyal. That means I'll get like 300,000 views on my first day. Exactly. So building a community rather than just random followers. And I want to go into merchandising too. So
I thought you've done a bit of merchandising.
Yeah, that was
okay with Nigerian.
But I want it locally. I want to get producers in like different countries where people would pick up and
that's cool. That's next level. So maybe one more question from me is, especially from a YouTube perspective, or even TikTok, is the views more important than the subscriber count, in your opinion?
You don't make money from your subscribers count. You make money from your views.
Yeah, but is there an advantage to?
Yeah, you can have a lot of subscribers and your channel looks fancy, because people are more likely to subscribe to a channel that has a lot of subscribers than a channel that has less subscribers.
Okay.
That's why when you're starting up, my advice is to hide your subscriber account so that people people can subscribe.
That's a very good tip. That's a very good tip.
Yeah, because if people see like you have like 300 subscribers, they'll be but if they don't see your subscriber count, they'll feel like this person, they will subscribe.
Yeah.
So when you get to like 20,000, 10,000, you can now.
But you can't hide your view count.
No, you can't hide your view count. So you can now open your subscribers. And then.
That's one final question. So in terms of, but we talked about, like we mentioned Apoko Doctor and whatever. I'm not sure I see you do a lot of collaborations as well. Is that something that you just avoid, or what's your thoughts on collaborating with other content creators? It's
good. Collaborating is good, but there are many things I cannot say on camera. There are many things I cannot say on camera. Let's just say it's only yourself that you know. Yeah, so you have to be careful when you go out to collaborate. When that's only what I can say on that issue.
But let me. But I'm sure you receive a lot of requests, especially. I'm guessing a lot of the things you are insinuating here probably has to do with like people at your level, the big creators. Yeah. But like, I'm sure you receive a lot of requests from smaller creators as well.
Yeah, I do, but I don't know. It feels like sometimes you have to look at the numbers before you go and do like collaboration. You don't want to go and do a collaboration with somebody that is only if you know the person and you're just trying to help the person. Okay. But you can't go and do a collaboration with somebody that has maybe 300 subscribers.
Like us.
10,000 or 1,000. You're not gaining anything. Usually when you do a collaboration, it has to be somebody around your level, so that at least it can be mutual. You guys can gain followers and from each other.
Yeah. Unless you're just doing it to help them.
Oh, unless you're doing it to help them. Just relax. Let me help them.
All right, thank you, Mayor. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Fantastic.
Fantastic.
It's been a pleasure talking with you.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.